So last month, I got a text from one of my clients a few weeks before her upcoming half marathon race. And I thought it was going to be some questions about her race, which was kind of unusual because this was her third half marathon and she had already done a full marathon. So she kind of knew the general race experience, other than kind of doing a course planning session around what to expect. But the text was actually something different. She was talking about her future dreams of what she was going to do with the rest of her year, which involved her secondary passion of climbing big mountains. And she wanted to know if her training would look the same after the race or if she'd have to change things up. And if she did change things up, would that affect her as a runner? And I really like this question because that's my whole philosophy is to train for races, but live bigger adventures with the fitness you develop. If you're new here, my name is Daniel Steamer. I'm a multi-certified endurance sports coach specializing in running. I've completed over 130 races myself, including 3 marathons, 2 Spartan Ultras, 3 half Ironman, and I'm currently training for my fourth half Ironman in just a few weeks and my first full Ironman later this year. I coach everyday adult athletes from their first race up to their biggest adventures. That's what this channel is all about. Most runners I know spend a lot of time training. When they commit to a race, they get really focused on it and put a lot of effort into the work developing their fitness over weeks and months to get ready for their race. But what I don't think a lot of runners consider is that that fitness you develop during that time doesn't belong just to the race. It belongs to you and what you want to do afterwards. And so that's what we're going to look at today. When you commit and train to something like a half marathon or even a full marathon, you develop a lot of cardio fitness. You develop more strength in your muscles through mitochondrial gains, more capillary density, better neuromuscular connection, and just overall denser fibers in your muscles. You also develop structural gains. Your tendons get stronger, your bones get stronger. You develop better balance, better coordination, more stability. It's just what we in general call better fitness. And on top of the physical side, the mental adaptations are there too. You learn how to push through tough and challenging situations. You learn to deal with discomfort for long periods of time. You learn you are capable of more than you believed and that you can do tough and challenging things. But those changes don't disappear once you cross the finish line. Once you've already built that fitness, it's yours. All you have to do is continue to maintain it. But none of those changes belong specifically to the race. Your body doesn't know what's actually stressing it out. It just knows how it's being stressed, whether that's on road, trail, or some workout at the gym. Those adaptations will happen through the consistency you put in during race training. And that's why the race is really just a test of what you've built, but the fitness is yours to keep afterwards. But most runners don't treat races that way. They cross the finish line, they take a few weeks off like you should after a big race, but during those 2 weeks, they kind of lose the structure that they've had during training. Their identity as somebody who trains regularly and consistently starts to fade. Their base fitness begins to erode. They start losing some of those cardiovascular adaptations that they've built. And then maybe a few months down the line, they might decide, you know what, I kind of missed that. So I'm going to sign up for another race and start the cycle all over again of rebuilding back to where they were. And the loop just runs again. But there's another option. If you know you have other stuff planned on the other side of a race, you take those 2 weeks off, and then you get excited about what you're going to start training for next, and you get right back in to that consistent training structure and start building towards your next big adventure. And that adventure could be anything that your new fitness enables, whether it's another race or climbing a mountain like my client's going to do, or it could be something like doing charity rides or going on surfing trips, getting into rock climbing, going on kayaking expeditions, or a cycling tour, or running obstacle courses. The options become pretty open once you have the fitness to say yes to more things. But because most runners get in that loop of taking time off and letting the habits and fitness fade, they just get caught in a loop of building fitness up, doing the tough race, letting the fitness fade, then repeat, build back up, let it fade. But like I just said, training for races can really change the way you look at what your fitness can do and how you can say yes to new things. So personally, I'm a few weeks away from my fourth half Ironman. So I'm not doing a lot of other adventures right now because my training is pretty heavy. But I am saying yes to a lot more fitness things in my daily life. I walk with a backpack to go get groceries or run most errands. When I have to go up a flight of stairs, I don't really question it. I just take the stairs and look instead of looking for other alternatives. It's really easy to say yes to more active things when you have a very strong baseline of fitness. That baseline just raises your floor of what you will default saying yes to. And the bigger things in life, some of the adventures you may have been thinking about for years but put off because you didn't feel fit enough, those become easier to say yes to as well. You just kind of stop screening yourself for bigger life and just start saying yes to more things and taking on more challenges because they seem fun and doable. So coming back to my client, she actually finished her half marathon just over a week or so ago. And it was her second best time on a much hillier course than she's ever done. So she's been really building that fitness. So as I said, this is her third half marathon. She's done a full marathon before. So signing up for this one, her third half marathon, was an easy yes at this point because her fitness foundation is there. And looking forward to her mountain climbing adventures over the summer, that fitness is just going to continue to be built on. All we're doing is shifting things around so that she's doing more work, prepping for carrying a backpack, carrying a load on her body, and more prep for going up hills and how much that's going to use her glutes and her hamstrings. Now, this client's been a hiker her whole life, and one of the things I loved with working with her was really sharing this idea of that she can be a hybrid athlete, that she doesn't need to just focus on just running to reach her marathon dreams, which she hit last year, but she could also consider herself a hiker as well, and that she could have both of them as long as she was willing to stay consistent and continuing to build her fitness across both sports. And that's where we are now. So the cycle is going to pick right up next week with her starting to train for smaller hills, smaller mountains, and building her way up to her big mountain ambitions towards the end of the year. The race was just where she tested her fitness for where it currently sits this year. So with all this in mind, aerobic adaptations are not permanent. Yes, it's recommended to take some time off after a big race because of how much you stress your body, but you do want to get back into training pretty quickly because after about 2 to 4 weeks, you will start to lose those aerobic adaptations and start to lose fitness. It'll feel harder to run. It'll feel harder to exercise if you don't get back into a training cycle. So if you've just finished a race recently, the window is open right now for you to get back in it and not lose much fitness and focus on whatever you're going to do next, whether that's another race or some other big adventure you want to pursue. So before you put the medal on the wall and call yourself done for the season, ask yourself one thing. What's something you want to do that you've put off in the past because you didn't think you were fit enough? Doesn't have to be another race, just something that's going to be physically challenging. You'll know it when you name it, pick it, plan it, train for it.